All right, so the whole purpose, the whole reason that we have system fundamentals is because when we're building a computer system, we're not just building it for ourselves, we're building it for a client. And there's a whole lot of different things you need to understand when you're building a computer system. But I just want to use an example to sort of walk you through designing a system for a client or a customer. So let's check out this client here. You know this guy. You know this guy here, right? Is Mr. Krabs from SpongeBob SquarePants, and you can tell he's taking a shower, and he's rich. He's got a lot of money, and Mr. Krabs wants to sell more Krabby Patties. That is an actual picture of a Krabby Patty. I hope the resolution on that is good. So Mr. Krab wants to sell more Krabby Patties. So he's done some thinking, and he's realized that what he really needs is a better system to manage his company. And specifically, he needs a better way of sort of coordinating his sales, his support, and his marketing. So when we want something like that, Mr. Krabs is going to come to you and ask you to design and build something called a CRM, okay? Customer Relationship Management System. Now, you don't need to memorize any of this stuff. All you need to know is that you've got a client or a customer, right here, Mr. Krabs, and he wants you to design and build this system, okay? So you're going to help him execute sales. The system is going to help him to support, and his system is going to help him with marketing. All of these three things will lead towards more money, bigger sales. That's what Mr. Krabs is looking for, okay? So one of the first questions that we have to ask ourselves in system fundamentals is, how do you know what Mr. Krabs wants? So how are you going to figure out exactly what he's looking for? If you don't think carefully and you don't understand what your client wants, you're not going to be able to make what your client needs. I know that sounds simple, but believe it or not, it happens all the time in IT, where we make a system and we don't really think so much about what our users actually want. We make something that we might want, or we think we understand it, but we don't really understand it. There's some other things that we think about within system fundamentals. We also think about system backup. So we ask ourselves, what would happen if there was an incident in Bikini Bottom? Just go ahead and look at that, because it took me forever to find it. So what would happen if there was an incident in Bikini Bottom and Mr. Krabs might lose some data? So how do we prevent data loss? And believe it or not, there's some really straightforward ways to prevent data loss, okay? I kind of like this animated GIF. Okay, another thing that we ask ourselves is sort of what's the best way to release or update a system. So when our system is done, like when our system is built, how do we bring it into the Krusty Krab? Like, how do we do that? We also ask the components of a computer system, okay? So a computer can be a lot of things in the world, okay? And if you look here, this is just a really brief list of what a computer can be. A computer can be a client, a server, a DNS server, a DHCP server, an email server. A computer can be a router or a firewall. All of those are different things that a computer can be, right? So let me just get this out of here. Let's just try this. No, that's not going to work. I'll try that. Okay. So another part of system fundamentals is is something usable, okay? So when we ask if something is usable, we're asking if this is what I give to you as a user interface, are you going to be able to do the job that you need to do with that user interface? Now, I want to be honest here. This is sort of like the worst possible scenario that you're looking at here with Microsoft Word, but the point I'm making, I think, is pretty clear. That if your system isn't usable, you're not going to get the value that you wanted to get from the system. Pretty straightforward stuff, okay? And then the last thing that we think about with system fundamentals is how do you train your users, okay? So here's good old SpongeBob, okay? You can tell he's trying to figure things out. So the question is when we're building this system and we want this system to bring value to our company, how can we train good old SpongeBob so that he gets the most value from this system. Right? So this is the essence of system fundamentals. Look, if you want to get curious about one thing, and you should get curious about one thing with system fundamentals, it's how do you make a system in a way that the client is going to get the value that they want. So if I spend $1 million on a computer system, how am I going to make sure that I'm getting the system that I pay for, okay? I appreciate you watching this video. Please check out computersciencewiki.org and computersciencelearning.com if you have any more questions about this.